Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I thought it was about time to do a full-on sit-down Q&A video so you can get to know me a little bit more, and I also wanted to give you guys a chance to ask me any questions, which I did a little post on Instagram, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, just asking you guys if you have any questions. So I'm going to go through those questions and answer them basically. So the first question is from Easy Neon. Hi girl, and she said, what's your favourite concealer and when will you be in the UK again? So my favourite concealer, believe it or not, I just find it so difficult to find an amazing ticks all the boxes concealer, and I've worked with a lot of concealers and I just haven't found the perfect formula that has good coverage but doesn't crease as much, that just looks beautiful, doesn't pick up any texture. So I haven't yet found that, but I will recommend one that I find is almost perfect, and that is the Bobbi Brown Tinted Eye Brightener. Now, just a preference here in case you're wondering whether you want to get them or not. I purchased the Porcelain Bisque, which is a little bit on the pinky, very, very pale side. So if you're very fair, maybe you have some freckles, maybe you have red hair, and you're a very cool, fair tone, I really do recommend the Porcelain Bisque. However, I made the mistake of purchasing the palest one because I never want to be too yellow under the eyes. So then I bought a different shade, which is Porcelain Peach, which happened to be perfect. So if you have more of a golden light skin tone, you would like this. And I'm going to swatch it for you because I found it extremely difficult to find swatches online of these. That's why I just couldn't contemplate which one to get. So let's have a look, shall we? So the one on the left, ignore that third one. This one here is the lightest one, Porcelain Bisque, and this is Porcelain Peach. So I thoroughly recommend Porcelain Peach if you're warmer. Cooler tones, I would go for the lightest one, which is Porcelain Bisque. Now, what I love about these is that they're very lightweight. They are a light to medium coverage. They don't pick up any texture. They're very blendable, and they come in an array of undertones and colours. And I love using these on my clients as well, so I recommend those. But are they perfect? No. Next question was, when will I be planning to go back to the UK? I'm actually going back in the end of August, which can't wait. I'm counting down the days, and I can't wait to kind of skip a little bit of summer here because the winters here in New York, East Coast, whatever, are extremely, extremely cold, and the summers are, for me, kind of hot compared to what I'm used to, you know, so I want to have a little break from that. And I normally go back Christmas time, but I won't be going back Christmas time this year, which will be really sad. I was thinking about that yesterday, actually. I was like when Christmas comes, I feel like I should be with my family. I know I'm not going to be this year, so I don't know. Maybe I should talk to you guys. I'll turn the camera on Christmas Day. Cookies No More said, I'm not going to bother reading this. She said, not a question, but could you do more evening looks for hooded eyes without false eyelashes? Of course I could, Cookies No More. You will see that very soon. Okay, so Sandra. Hello Sandra. I've noticed you've been leaving a lot of comments recently and you like all my posts on Instagram, so thank you for staying in the loop and thanks for liking things. She said, how did you find a makeup artist to begin assisting? So, as many of you may know, I'm a makeup artist, and I went to school for makeup, but I also took it upon myself to work with other artists, people that I aspired to, people that I love their work, and I worked with a lot of artists, or assisted a lot of artists that worked with Dick Page, and Dick Page is one of my favourite artists, but sometimes it's really hard to assist really big people, so you kind of want to look around and see who's assisted who, because a lot of big artists at the moment were assisted by other big artists in that generation, so it really does kind of filter down. So I've worked with a lot of amazing people, and the way I got into it is that, well, there's a number of ways you can do it really. You can contact the agencies, write a letter to them and then say, hey, I'm available to do a shoot, just let me know, and you have to be ready like that. To drop everything at a hat and do a shoot, or whether you want to do backstage stuff, I don't know. So you can write to an agency, which you know you can't just write to one because then it probably won't write back. You're going to write to about 1,000, well not 1,000, but like 80, and probably 2 will write back. So there you go, just don't expect too much. The way I did it is I went to, oh, I'm such a stalker, I went to a makeup trade show to see one of my favourite artists do like a keynote speech. It was a makeup show in New York last year, and oh, she gave the most amazing talk. It was so inspirational. and I was just like this, like the whole time. And at the end she had kind of like a meet and greet, which I'm not really into that kind of thing, but I just went anyway and just kind of queued up, and I was the last person, and I was just so nervous, and I was just like, you know, introduced myself, and I was like, look, if you ever need an assistant, here's my email. I walked off and forgot to give him my email, of course, and I was like, oh god, I've got to go back, so embarrassing. And I just gave him my email, and then the next day, the next day I met up with her, we spoke and stuff, and then the day after that I was doing a shoot for J. Crew. So it does move fast. You can't say no to, I mean, it's really tough. You can't say no to a job because they're not going to ask you again. They don't give a shit about, not about you, but you know, I know everyone has to make money, but it's just about being there, like trying your hardest to find a job maybe that you could work nights or something. And also the thing with makeup assisting as well is that you get, everything is back, I want to say, what's the word to say? Everything is so far in advance that when you'll get paid like 3 months after you do a job, or maybe even 4 months after you do a job, so you have to be prepared to work while being broke for basically like 6 months. So that's how I got into it. And if you have any more questions about makeup assisting or anything, even if it's like long distance relationships or moving to a different country, like stuff that I've been through and stuff that I can help you with, just let me know, because I literally, like, I spend a lot of time writing back to comments. I'll always write back to a comment, especially if it's a question. I will 100% write back to it. So there you go. Next question. What are your favourite eyeshadow brushes, and what is your favourite brand of eyeshadow? So my favourite eyeshadow brushes I discovered last year actually are by Patinkin, and she does a couple. They're kind of similar to Wayne Goss in a way, but not. They're very sleek, black, minimal, and I'll show you my favourite. Okay, so these are what they look like. I use them pretty much in all of my videos, but my favourite one in particular is this one called the Multi-Domed Blender, and it's kind of like a luxe version of a 217. So if you're very into makeup, luxury makeup, and you're just sick of that generic blending brush, you just want something that's going to give you more control. And what I love about this is that you can really create a rounded eye. So if you want to round out your sockets with your shadow, this is perfect because it has that kind of dome shape and it's very dense, so you can control exactly where you want your shadow to go. But it's beautiful at blending out shadows without any product on the brush as well, which is what I did today. So I recommend the Jenny Patinkin eyeshadow brushes, and she also has like you know, like blender, flat, she does a ton, but she doesn't have so many brushes that it's overcomplicated. And my favourite eyeshadow formula in the world would have to be, okay, I recently went to Sephora, as you do, and I tried the Makeup Forever eyeshadows, and they are amazing. Like, I'm not even like being over the top here, they are incredible. Like, you touch them, it's just like silk, and it's just like creamy gel, and they are kind of pricey, and if I could own all of them, god, I would get rid of most of my eyeshadows and just have that purely. And they do different finishes, they're just so nice, and if you have a chance to fill them, definitely go ahead. But I do wish I owned more. I think I have a couple at the moment, but I think they do one of those things where the more you buy, the more you save, trying to get you to spend more money, you know what I mean. Okay, so Anuka says, how do you like living in the US? What are the pros and cons in your opinion compared to Europe? I love living in the US. Obviously, I really miss my family. It's so hard moving to a different country because you start off by being so, like, with a ton of adrenaline, being so excited to get out of your country's so bad, and you're just like, yeah, a new adventure. But then when it kicks in, you realise it's not a vacation, and you could get a job and all this other stuff, then it just becomes scary, and then you sit on your own and you're like, god, where's my family? They're like 6 hours away on the plane. It is scary, but that wasn't even the question, was it? God, it's a counselling session here. Yeah, but I do love living in the US. It's amazing for makeup. God, when I first went to Sephora, it wasn't when I moved here, but it was when I was dating my husband, when he was my boyfriend. He took me to Sephora and I almost had a panic attack. I was like, what is this? And it was just so amazing, and I think there's so many like opportunities here for businesses. I definitely think the attitude in America, or maybe even just New York, is a very work, very little play, and that's kind of hard. But I do think it's a great place for opportunities, and you know, you can make good money as well. And obviously YouTube is amazing as well. and I've always wanted to go to Los Angeles. Go up, I was talking to my friend the other day, I was like, oh, what's that thing that you always see people hike on? And she's like, oh, Runyon Canyon. She's like, yeah, you want to go and wear like a full face of makeup and go hiking up a mountain and take selfies of yourself? I'm like, yeah, I'd actually like to do that. Anyway, off topic. So yeah, I do like, and the comparisons with Europe is, I guess Europe is just so different. Europe is a little bit more authentic, I guess, because it's older. Things are older, buildings are older, it doesn't see, things aren't built to look old mostly, and it's very green in England. Like the grass is just this greeny green, it's literally like this. The grass is like this, and when you land you're like, holy shit, and the air is just like so moist, and your skin is just like, you don't even need to wear moisturiser, it's that amazing. Whereas here it's like, and I just love, I miss the shops, I miss boots, I just miss everything about it, and it's just a different place. It's hard to describe unless you've been there, but it's just, everything's more like a community, I guess. I mean, it depends where you live in the US. New York is it's hard for New York to be a community, really, unless you live in a very small borough or town, or unless you're very social. But in England, I think it's a little bit more sociable. It's less about work, it's more of an equal balance. But I don't know, you let me know what you think, because I don't want to be like, this is this. I don't think one place is better than the other, but I'm just telling you from what, you know, my experiences are. So that's what I can say about that. Other things you miss apart from your friends and family, of course, I miss Sunday dinners. I miss going to the pub, even though I didn't really a lot, but I do miss that kind of social setting where it's just relaxed, but you can have a drink and just chat, and it's not about getting drunk. It's weird as well, because when I first moved here and I went to Target and I was shopping for like cleaning supplies, I just didn't know any of the brands, so I was like, oh, what's this Tide, or what's this green work, like I just had to learn about all the brands. So it would be nice to go back to England and just see all these brands that you recognise and you've grown up with, or Fairy Liquid, just weird stuff like that. How did I meet my husband? Someone's had multiple questions here. I met my husband at university in London. I was studying for 3 years and he was over for 3 months, and then we got on really well, but I thought that I'd never see him again, so I said bye, it was like a movie scene. I was like, see ya. And then we did long distance for 2.5 years, and then we decided to finally you know, settle the long distance and get married, so one of us could move to the other country, because it's just so difficult to get a visa. I mean, that wasn't the main reason I got married. I knew that I would get married at some point, but maybe not that early in my life, because I was 22. But honestly, I'm so happy being married. I love being married, it's amazing. So yeah, and then I moved to America, basically. But it was extremely hard, and applying for a visa is the most stressful thing ever, because it's not a number you can call to talk to someone. It's basically like a waiting game. You're waiting for someone to decide that ultimately the fate of your life lies in their hands on a piece of paper. So it's really stressful. So if you have any questions, or you're doing long distance, even if it's not from country to country, do let me know and I'll give you some advice if I can help you. So Fruity Yours asks, what's your day job in New York City? So I'm a makeup artist and I do my own freelance clients, and I also work at a studio on the Upper East Side, and I do like weddings, events, kind of like, I don't know, it just depends where people are going. Like a lot of people go to galas and just socialite events. So I have clients through there, and I also have my own clients that I do. What's your favourite type of music? I think this is one of the questions that I used to, when I was younger, I used to answer it, and I used to say, oh, I like all different types of music, because I didn't want to be judged for what type of music I like. But now I don't really have a certain type that I like, but I can name a couple of artists that I do like. So I do love Jessie Ware, is one of my favourite artists. I grew up a lot with kind of like 80s, like 80s soul music, like Sister Sledge, and just like New Shoes, I Can't Wait, just like really cringy music, but I just think it's just really feel good, authentic music, and she kind of mirrors that but in a more modern way. So I like Jessie Ware. I like what else do I like? I like Ed Sheeran. I like there's a lot of like acoustic artists that I like at the moment that I found through Burberry. There's another artist that I found recently, but I forgot his name. I like Bombay Bicycle Club. I also love to go on Hype Machine. I find a lot of artists through there, especially remixes. Like a lot of artists that I listen to, I'll just listen to one remix that they make of another song, but I won't specifically listen to that artist, if that makes sense. And I also go on SoundCloud a lot. And I'll put my music stuff down below. I also like super cringy music as well, just like I have a 90s playlist and stuff like that. So it just depends on how I feel. Exotic Tight says, what's for your favourite place to eat in New York? What's also your favourite musical? Well, I've only ever seen one musical in New York, and that was Lion King when my mum came to visit, and that was really good. But musicals, or whatever you want to call them, are kind of expensive. They're like $300, $400 for like 2 people, so you kind of have to figure out that you really want to see this thing that you're going to see. So at the moment there's nothing really that I'd like to see except for Aladdin, just to see the magic carpet, but we'll see about that. Favourite places to eat in New York? I can't say that I'm 100% like connoisseur of everything to eat. Like I don't have like a very well-rounded view on food, because I've only been in New York for about a year now, but I can tell you a couple of places. I'm into kind of really healthy vegan food, even though I'm not vegan, but I like to try different things because I love to understand and like taste things that have substituted for meat. I just think it's amazing. So I love this place called The Butcher's Daughter in Soho. That's a really amazing place. It's very casual. It's nice to go kind of like when you want to go out for dinner but you don't want to dress up, and it's just kind of farmhouse inspired inside. There's not that much seating, but they do the best desserts. I had this ice cream sandwich last time I went and it was amazing, and I had this black bean burger which I loved. It made me super full, but I didn't feel bad after, you know, because I wasn't eating like a ton of like red meat. I went to this place called Rubirosa for my birthday, which is an Italian in Soho, which I loved. The best pizzas ever, like kind of gourmet pizzas. I've been to the Smith a couple of times. I like that. Very casual, kind of like, people say it's like a glorified TGI's. It kind of is, but I do think you should go if you haven't. And I've been to a lot of places. There's a really good place in Chinatown called Nom Wah something, I don't know, but it's the oldest dim sum place in Chinatown, so you'll probably find it if you just type in that. And they do, so it's like a ping pong menu, so they do so many different types, and you can just order loads of stuff for like $1. They have like jasmine tea, and when I went last time with my friend, I just ordered so much because I didn't realise how big it was, and it was literally like $20 for the whole lot, and I was so full. Like, it was amazing. And I will update you when I find some more new restaurants and also recommend me some as well. And Tilly Cutler, who I know in real life, hello Tilly, says, if you could only have 2 lipsticks forever, a nude and a bright, which ones would you choose? I honestly don't wear bright lipsticks that often, except for in videos, because my lips are hella small and I don't want to accentuate that fact. But for nude, I will show you. Bear with me a second. So I swear this is not a plug, I'm not getting paid to say this, but it actually happens to be 2 Jouer lipsticks, and my favourite nude is called Meredith. As you can see, you can definitely see it's a favourite because it's lost its shape completely, and that's what that looks like, kind of a peachy brown, beautiful colour. My favourite bright colour is actually called Whitney, and I wore this the other day and I got tons and tons of compliments. Just a very easy to wear pop of colour, lovely, especially with winged liner. That looks amazing, love it. Okay, so I think that's all the questions. I did this in one take, surprisingly. Tink. So yeah, I will see you very soon. If you've got any more questions to ask me that I didn't answer, or maybe you're just super curious to know, my voice is going to go, just leave them down below and I will write back to you as soon as I can. And have a good day, and I will see you soon. Bye.